Good morning, students. Welcome back to Everything About Sociology. Today, we continue with Sociology Mock Test Series Part 2. Here, we are going to discuss some most important questions from the UGC NET June 2026 Paper 2 Sociology from Unit Number 1 Sociological Theory Social Thinkers. My name is Yashika Hargunani, your sociology educator and research scholar who help you with your PhD related queries, so on and so forth. How are you all? I hope you all are doing fine. If you have still not downloaded the application of Everything About Sociology, the link is given in the description box. Make sure you do so that you receive all the timely updates, paid courses, free classes, so on and so forth. Without wasting any time, I will give you a brief introduction about me. My full name is Yashika Sanjay Hargunani, and I am a PhD research scholar in sociology at HSNC University, Mumbai. I have been an ex-Unacademy educator and taught for the category of NTA UGC NET Sociology for the past 2 years. I have 4+ years of teaching experience for sociology competitive examinations. I have taught in various schools and colleges too. I have been giving students research consultation, PhD guidance, and mentorship from the past 4 years. Overall, I have a 5 years of experience when it comes to teaching for competitive examinations. Now, it becomes important, students, that you follow me on my Telegram channel, Everything About Sociology. The link will be given in the description box so that you receive all the free class details, links, PDFs, so on and so forth, offers, job related queries, everything. So this becomes mandatory if you're preparing for sociology examinations, you follow me here. We already are having courses on our application for sociology, which is beneficial for you to follow. Right now, I am teaching sociological theory to students where I am continuing with Max Weber and his theories. If you are someone who wants to join our course, you can do so because right now we have an offer going on of 5% off on all courses and test series. This is valid till today, that is 30th April 2026 students. ये ऑफर आज खत्म हो जाएगा, so make sure you take this up and enroll now in our courses using my code YASHICASH. I will give you the spelling here, but you will get the spelling in the description box as well. YASHIKASH. This is the code. Okay, guys. So now upcoming class details, very important. We will be having a 6 p.m. paid class. Then again tomorrow we'll be meeting at 10 a.m. for this particular part 3. Now these mock test series are very important, students, because ये जो हैं आपको help करेंगे to remember concepts. Now most of the time students question solve करते वक्त key concepts भूल जाते हैं, तो इन key concepts को याद रखने के लिए बहुत important होता है that we keep on revising these questions. These are the most expected questions and important questions that one needs to follow for examination. So if you are someone preparing for any sociology competitive examinations per se, you must follow these classes. This will really help you in your preparation. So now let us begin with our questions from part 2 and let us see which kind of questions we have in today's class. Question number 1 or question number 21, because we are continuing from part 2 here. Name the social thinker who included archaeology of knowledge and genealogy of power as core ideas in his methodology. Anthony Giddens, Irving Goffman, Michel Foucault, Jonathan Turner. ये Irving Goffman है students यहाँ पे. Let me just mention the spelling. Okay. Students, the correct answer to this is Michel Foucault. Archaeology of knowledge and genealogy of power are two key terms that we look at whenever we study about Michel Foucault. Now, if I tell you who is this Michel Foucault, again a very important thinker that we study from Unit 1, Sociological Theory. He is a French philosopher, students, you need to remember, and a social theorist. His focus was more on the idea of power, the idea of knowledge and discourse, students. Very important. ट्रेडिशनल सोशोलॉजी से काफी अलग पर्सपेक्टिव से ये आते हैं स्टूडेंट्स. ये ज्यादातर फोकस करते हैं ऑन द आइडिया ऑफ ट्रूथ. ओके, एंड ये क्वेश्चन भी करते हैं टू द आइडिया ऑफ ट्रूथ. उनका कोर आइडिया ही ये था स्टूडेंट्स की ट्रूथ भी कहीं ना कहीं, जो सच्चाई है, ट्रूथ है, वो कहीं ना कहीं सोशली कंस्ट्रक्टेड है. एंड पावर डिसाइड करता है कि कौन ट्रूथफुल है और कौन ट्रूथफुल नहीं है. सो व्हेनेवर वी टॉक अबाउट आर्कियोलॉजी ऑफ नॉलेज, डिस्कोर्स को समझने का तरीका भी जो है जिसपे वो फोकस करते हैं. सिंपल मीनिंग में अगर मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूं आर्कियोलॉजी ऑफ नॉलेज स्टूडेंट्स, he tries to say that archaeology is nothing but where you are trying to dig in the past, you're trying to understand the history. आर्कियोलॉजी. ओके, सो फूको सेज दैट नॉलेज के भी कहीं ना कहीं बहुत सारे लेयर्स होते हैं. एंड ही सेज दैट कौन से डिस्कोर्सेस हमें फॉलो करने इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड नॉलेज, इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड ट्रूथ, वेज ऑफ स्पीकिंग, वेज ऑफ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, थिंकिंग, कहीं ना कहीं उसी में फॉर्म होते जाते हैं. कैसे कुछ आइडियाज कहीं ना कहीं वैलिड नॉलेज बोले जाते हैं एंड कुछ आइडियाज ऐसी होती हैं जो कि वैलिड नॉलेज नहीं बोली जाती है. So his key concept of episteme is again becomes very important. Epistemology और episteme, हर टाइम पीरियड का एक थिंकिंग फ्रेमवर्क होता है जिसपे हमें फोकस करना होता है, राइट, जो डिसाइड करता है कि क्या सच है, क्या झूठ है, क्या सही है, क्या गलत है. ओके, एंड क्या साइंटिफिक है और क्या साइंटिफिक नहीं है ऑन दैट मैटर. For example, when he talks about the concept of madness, okay, very important, जो पागलपन होता है, madness होता है स्टूडेंट्स. मिडीवल टाइम पे मैडनेस का एक डेफिनेशन अलग था, while in the recent times मैडनेस का डेफिनेशन अलग हो जाता है, right. In the medieval time madness was related to evil spirit, it was related to how people are failing because of morality. However, in modern times we get to see madness is a mental illness. It is something which is categorized into medical understanding, right. So this is how during time period, time to time, the idea of knowledge keeps on changing, right. You can understand this, that how discourse is shifting from irrationality to rationality. And archaeology कहीं ना कहीं ये trace करता है कि क्या सच है, क्या नहीं है, वो कैसे time के साथ अलग होता जाता है. Let's read this slide. Okay, so archaeology of knowledge and genealogy of power. Michel Foucault is a French philosopher and a social theorist. आर्कियोलॉजी ऑफ नॉलेज एक ऐसा मेथड होता है जहां पे आप मैप कर सकते हो कि जो डिस्कोर्स ऑफ नॉलेज है वो फॉर्म कैसे हो रही है, ट्रेस कर सकते हो कि रूल्स कैसे चेंज हो रहे हैं, what are the statements and systems that produce particular ways of speaking, thinking, and also the historical movements decide all those things, right. So genealogy of power is nothing but the method, historical method, जो कि बताता है कि जो पावर है वो किसके पास कितना होता है in each time period. Okay, and this is never a linear process. So all of this is very very important, students. You can take another example of crime here. Okay, पहले के जमाने में क्राइम हमेशा मॉरली गलत माना जाता था, बट नाउ आज के टाइम पे क्राइम इज जस्ट नोन एज अ लीगल वायलेशन, राइट, एंड साइकोलॉजिकल इशू फॉर दैट मैटर. So how things are shifting according to each historical time period. So ये change knowledge का structure कहीं ना कहीं explain करता है. This is just some basic understanding through layman language I'm trying to explain. But when we do in the paid courses, we understand this through more examples. And also genealogy of power again becomes very important, students. Like I said, genealogy of power जो होता है students, genealogy का मतलब क्या होता है, very important. हिस्ट्री ऑफ पावर रिलेशनशिप्स की लोगों का किसके पास कितना पावर है, पावर का एवोल्यूशन कैसे हुआ टाइम टू टाइम, राइट. सो हियर यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि पावर काम कैसे करता है, राइट, विजिबल क्या है, इनविजिबल क्या है. यू आर सपोज टू अंडरस्टैंड पावर कैसे कहीं ना कहीं इंस्टीट्यूशंस बनाता है या बिगाड़ता है. ऑल ऑफ दीज आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू अंडरस्टैंड that how truth is produced through power. So all of this is very important. He also gives the concept of panopticon. Okay, this is a prison model. Do let me know in the comment section कि originally ये concept किसने दिया था students. ये एक central tower होता है, सब prisoners कहीं ना कहीं उस tower से visible होते हैं. प्रिजनर को पता नहीं होता है कि कब उन्हें देखा जा रहा है सर्विलेंस में, राइट? सो ऑब्वियसली द रिजल्ट इज दैट द प्रिजनर इज कंट्रोल्ड. This is a disciplinary power he is talking about. There are different types of power he talks about that we discussed in detail whenever we study about Michel Foucault, but I hope you have understood the question. Question number 22. According to Karl Marx, the 5 modes of production are what? There are 5 modes of production given in the options. You are supposed to chronologically arrange them. Okay? Slavery, primitive communism, capitalism, feudalism, socialism. Choose the correct order from the options given. This is the Hindi version for students who would like to watch and understand and note them down. The correct answer is option number C. सबसे पहले आता है हमारा primitive communism, then slavery, okay, feudalism, third, all right, capitalism, and last में आता है socialism. Please make a note of it. Positivism in sociology holds what? It should show people in the best possible light. It should attempt to appeal to as many people as possible. It should apply the same methods as physics or chemistry. It should progress by positing new concepts and theories. Positivism का जो perspective है in sociology, उसका मतलब क्या है? This is a very, very good question from basics to sociology which will help you to understand the concept also very well. The correct answer is that it should apply the same methods as physics or chemistry. I had told you that positivism kya hai in most of my classes when we discuss Auguste Comte as well, right? जब हम Auguste Comte की बात करते हैं, that is when I explain you this concept. Positivism sociology का एक scientific approach माना जाता है students. Auguste Comte is the father of sociology. In the previous class, I had discussed this with you guys, right? उनका main idea क्या था कि society को भी हम उसी तरीके से पढ़ने की कोशिश करें जैसे हम natural sciences या physics, chemistry को समझने की कोशिश करते हैं, right? So this is why third option हमारा right हो जाता है that you need to apply the same methods of physics and chemistry in order to understand society. Positivism का core principle ये था that one needs to apply natural sciences methods to social sciences. That means one needs to follow observation, comparative methodology, experimentation, scientific laws, rules and regulations, right? So बाकी options जो हैं अपने आप में ही गलत हो जाते हैं. First option is just talking about how people needs to best possible light में जो समझ में आया वही, तो ये गलत हो जाता है. It should attempt to appeal to as many people. It's not talking about appealing. It's not talking about new concepts and theories, right? So the correct answer is option 3. Question number 24. Who has stated that human activity can be observed and understood only from the inside? इनमें से कौन से thinker ने ये कहा है कि human activity को हम सिर्फ अंदरूनी तरीके से समझ सकते हैं, students भीतर की तरीके से समझ सकते हैं? Max Weber, William Dilthey, Emile Durkheim, Sorokin. Quickly answer this question in the comment section. The correct answer is William Dilthey, students. Very important. इसको समझना जरूरी है कि इनका core idea क्या था students. William Dilthey tries to say that human activity को सिर्फ हम बाहर से observe, outside से observe नहीं कर सकते. One cannot understand human activity only from the outside. One needs to subjectively understand ह्यूमन एक्टिविटी. हर्म्यूनिटिक्स का कॉन्सेप्ट भी तो यहीं पे हम पढ़ते हैं. मतलब सिर्फ बिहेवियर को देखना या ऑब्जर्व करना इनफ नहीं है. वी हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड द इंटरनल मीनिंग, इंटेंशन, एक्सपीरियंस in order to understand the activity or society, right? So individual behavior समझना बहुत जरूरी है. We also study the concept of Verstehen. But here in this, they are not asking about the concept of Verstehen. If they were asking about that, it would have been Max Weber. So don't get confused. Max Weber was very much inspired by William Dilthey. However, this statement is given by William Dilthey. I have also mentioned here some more details on what William Dilthey believed. वो ये कहते हैं कि human behavior को हम सिर्फ physical phenomena से नहीं समझ सकते हैं, हम उसे objectively measure नहीं कर सकते हैं. Like Emile Durkheim says that everything can be objectively measured, right? ये कहीं ना कहीं subjective meaning पे depend करता है, inner lived experiences पे निर्भर करता है. एक सोशल साइंटिस्ट को जो होते हैं वो पार्टिसिपेंट के शूज में जाके समझना पड़ता है कि एग्जैक्टली पार्टिसिपेंट क्या फील कर रहा है, उनके माइंड में क्या है, वो क्या कहीं ना कहीं क्या जेस्चर्स यूज कर रहा है. So to truly understand any kind of human actions, researcher must understand the intention behind that action, belief system, emotions, cultural context, motivations. और इसी को interpretative understanding या hermeneutics भी हम कहते हैं, where you try to read between the sentences, between the lines. I hope this is clear with all of you. Next question in front of you. According to Durkheim, social facts क्या होते हैं? I have explained this many times. Let me see how many of y'all can answer this. Ways of behaving that are external to individuals, only things that have been shown to be true, social insights into collective behavior, information captured by official statistics. Now, this can be a tricky question for students who do not know what are social facts, but to students who already know it, इसका सही आंसर हमारा option 1 हो जाता है. This is nothing but something that is external to individuals, outside the individuals. It's a very important question on social facts. Don't take this lightly because this is something that can be asked in examination. Okay. Now, here I had explained you that social facts के बारे में इमाइल डर्कहाइम बात करते हैं अपनी बहुत ही फेमस बुक में द रूल्स ऑफ सोशियोलॉजिकल मेथड, जो कि पब्लिश हुई थी 1895 में. यहीं पे वो क्वेश्चन, एक सेंट्रल क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं कि सोशियोलॉजी में कौन से मेथड्स यूज किए जाते हैं. एंड दैट इज द टाइम वी स्टडी अबाउट सोशल फैक्ट्स इन दिस बुक. He says that social facts are coercive in nature, external, enduring, generation to generation chalta है, and they are social in nature. Then he also gives two types of social action, material and non-material social action. He has also talked about the journal, which is La in Sociologic, being one of the first journals he stated or he started, and it got famous throughout the world, not just in France. Okay. He is someone who has created this as a academic discipline of sociology, इसलिए हम इन्हें academic father भी बुलाते हैं. Sui generis के बारे में भी इसी book में वो बात करते हैं. So all these concepts are very important and central to the book The Rules of Sociological Method 1895. Next question, students. Next question आपसे पूछ रहा है, who has propounded the concept of ethnocentrism? ये concept किसने दिया है? W.G. Sumner, Adorno, Max Weber, Emanuel Wallerstein. The correct answer for this is none other than W.G. Sumner, students. Now you have to know that what is ethnocentrism. ठीक है, किसने दिया है वो तो पता होना है, but you need to also know the concept. So ये concept दिया था विलियम ग्राहम समनर ने, students, very important. और कौन सी बुक में दिया था? फोकवेज 1906 में ये बुक आई थी, इसमें उन्होंने ये कॉन्सेप्ट के बारे में डिस्कस किया था. द सिंपल डेफिनेशन ऑफ एथनोसेंट्रिज्म इज नथिंग बट अपनी कल्चर को आप यहाँ पे सुपीरियर मानते हो. यू थिंक दैट योर ओन कल्चर इज सुपीरियर और दूसरे के जो कल्चर्स हैं वो अपने स्टैंडर्ड से कहीं ना कहीं इंफीरियर हैं. यस, सो यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड, लोग क्या यहाँ पे सोचने की कोशिश करते हैं कि हम सही हैं, हमारा कल्चर सुपीरियर है, और दूसरे गलत है, दूसरों का कल्चर इंफीरियर है. इसको कहते हैं कल्चरल बायस आना. ओके, सो एथनोसेंट्रिज्म इज नथिंग बट द टेंडेंसी टू व्यू वंस ओन कल्चर एज सुपीरियर, एंड दूसरों के कल्चर को आप इवैल्यूएट करते हो अपने खुद के कल्चरल स्टैंडर्ड से. इस वजह से हमें काफी ज्यादा बायसनेस देखने मिलता है, प्रेजुडाइज, स्टीरियोटाइप करते हैं लोग. दे ऑल्सो मिसअंडरस्टैंड अदर पीपल, एंड कल्चरल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट भी इस वजह से ही हमें देखने मिलता है. You can take the example of food here, okay, in order to understand what is ethnocentrism. Indians might say that Western food is very bland in taste, okay. They might say that somewhere it is very unhealthy in nature. So we are trying to upshow or we are trying to say that हमारा जो खाना है, जो food है, वो कहीं ना कहीं superior है, it's more healthy in nature, बल्कि दूसरों के कल्चर को हम कहीं ना कहीं इंफीरियर दिखाने की कोशिश करें. एंड दिस क्रिएट्स इन ग्रुप एंड आउट ग्रुप थिंकिंग ऑल्सो. इन ग्रुप मतलब जहां हम अपने आप पे फोकस करते हैं, अपने आप को सुपीरियर और राइट मानते हैं, और आउट ग्रुप का मतलब है दूसरों के कल्चर को आप इंफीरियर या रॉन्ग मानते हो. इसमें मैंने एक एग्जाम्पल भी अटैच किया है फॉर यू गाइज. टेक द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ फूड हैबिट्स अक्रॉस कल्चर, राइट. सो यहाँ पे आप हर एक जो ग्रुप होता है, मे बी दिस इज एन इंडियन, एथनोसेंट्रिज्म में उन्हें मीट जो है वो गलत लगेगा, वेजिटेरियन फूड सही लगेगा। वेस्टर्न कल्चर में वेस्टर्न लोगों को स्ट्रेंज लगेगा वेजिटेबल्स और लीफ खाना, हाउएवर मीट ज्यादा उन्हें सुपीरियर लगेगा। So somewhere where you try to say that your own culture is superior, ethnocentrism is something which assumes saying that my own culture or my own lifestyle or practices are superior in nature. So this becomes very, very, very important. Don't take it lightly. Question number 27. According to Max Weber, the ideal type refers to what? The best possible outcome available, a perspective emphasizing the primacy of ideas, a model based on certain features of a phenomena, the social agenda of political idealists. Please answer this question कि मैक्स वेबर के हिसाब से आइडियल टाइप्स का मतलब क्या होता है. This is again a very, very important question. The correct answer is it is a model based on certain features of a phenomena. Okay, please make a note of it. So Max Weber का ideal type exactly क्या है students? ये थोड़े नाम से ही आपको समझ में आ जाना चाहिए. It's very important. He calls this as a methodological tool. Okay. So this is developed by Max Weber. He says that it is a methodological tool. कोई भी social scientist को इस tool को अपने research में use करना चाहिए. He is not calling it a moral ideal, but however calling it as a methodological tool. Okay. So इसका real meaning क्या है अगर मैं कहूँ, ये एक ऐसा analytical model है जो किसी phenomena के important features को highlight करने में मदद करता है. रियल वर्ल्ड कहीं ना कहीं बहुत ज्यादा मेसी होता है, राइट? व्हेनेवर वी गो इन द फील्ड ऑफ रिसर्च, देयर आर सो मेनी एस्पेक्ट्स टू लुक अराउंड, सो वी नीड अ स्टैंडर्ड टू बी देयर to understand the essential characteristics in the field, right? So Weber says that this is a pure model, or a, it's an analytical model which will help you in order to understand reality in a better sense. Okay, you can take the example of how Max Weber talks about bureaucracy. He says that bureaucracy में हमें hierarchy देखने मिलती है, rules are written in nature. He also talks about merit based recruitment. However, क्या real life में हमें ये सारी चीजें देखने मिलती है? We do get to see corruption, we do get to see delays, right? So somewhere he's saying that one needs to use an ideal type or a methodological tool to understand the reality better. So this was used to make sense of the complex reality and to understand the patterns in the particular social area. Okay, so this is very, very important. Next question. Who among the following made a critical appropriation of Husserl's approach of phenomenology? Peter Berger, Karl Mannheim, Irving Goffman, Alfred Skewes. The correct answer to this is none other than, just a minute, Alfred Skewes. Okay, please don't take it lightly. ये question भी बहुत important है. Yes, Alfred Skewes का आंसर हमें याद रखना है. अब Alfred Skewes ने क्या किया था students? Alfred Skewes काफी ज्यादा इंस्पायर्ड थे बाय एडमंड हसल स्टूडेंट, और उनके अप्रोच ऑफ फेनोमेनोलॉजी को उन्होंने यूज किया था इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड लाइफ वर्ल्ड, इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड द concepts or theories. His theories were very much inspired by Edmund Husserl. So very, very important. I have also given an example here in order to explain you. ठीक है, अच्छा यहाँ example attach नहीं, I'll explain you this here itself. So whenever what does Skewes talk about, please understand, Alfred Skewes जो है कहीं ना कहीं एडमंड हसर्ल से काफी ज्यादा इंस्पायर्ड थे. उन्होंने फेनोमेनोलॉजी को सोशियोलॉजी में अप्लाई किया था इन ऑर्डर टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट इज फेनोमेनोलॉजी, और इसको वो कहते हैं एज अ क्रिटिकल अप्रोप्रिएशन. दैट मीन्स ही डिड नॉट जस्ट अडॉप्ट द आइडिया ऑफ फेनोमेनोलॉजी, but also he updated it. Okay, not just updated it, he modified it, right? So when we talk about this, you need to understand that Alfred Skewes talks about everyday life, he talks about life world, he talks about how people are creating meaning in their everyday life, right? So these are some important aspects one needs to remember. Which of the following is not associated with functionalism? इनमें से कौन सा थिंकर फंक्शनलिज्म के पर्सपेक्टिव से एसोसिएटेड नहीं है? टैलकेट पार्सन्स, इमाइल डर्कहाइम, रैल्फ डैरेंडॉर्फ, रॉबर्ट किंग मर्टन. The correct answer is Ralph Dahrendorf because obviously he comes from conflict perspective. The rest of the thinkers are from functionalism. Next question is, which one of the following approaches mainly focuses on consciousness? Ethnomethodology, comparative method, functionalism, phenomenology. Very important question. Let me see how many of you all answered this correctly, students. Please remember the correct answer to this would be phenomenology, because phenomenology focuses more on consciousness. It focuses more on realities. So ये भी एक important question हो जाता है, students. Take this as a very important question. Now, I have also given you an example here of classroom lecture or experiencing a classroom lecture. So, how do students experience the lectures here? If I talk about different perspectives, यहाँ पे आपको समझना है कि सबसे पहले तो functionalist जो होगा वो सिर्फ और सिर्फ classroom का structure discuss करेंगे. They will discuss the roles of teachers, students and only discuss the holistic classroom structure. Positivist will only collect data of कितना attendance है, कितना performance है class में. However, how students experience the lecture every day, okay? यही phenomenological approach का एक बहुत central question है, students, where we try to understand कि reality को समझने के लिए you have to understand the internal experience of human behavior, okay? So here, this is very important. Is the student feeling anxious or confident? Does the student find the content meaningful or confusing? So ये सारे questions जो होते हैं वो कहीं ना कहीं focus करते हैं on this particular perspective. So I hope this is very much clear with you all that how phenomenology focuses more on subjective consciousness and does not focuses on objectivity. Merton's term for the hidden reason for a particular behavior was what? Middle range function, consumption function, latent function, structural function. Please answer this question, students. We have to remember that he talks about latent function, students. Hidden reason या unintended outcome जो होता है वो हमारा latent function होता है. Types of function में वो दो type के functions के बारे में बात करते हैं, students. He talks about latent and manifest, right? So latent functions हमारे unintended functions होते हैं जो कि hidden होते हैं, unrecognized होते हैं. कोई भी social action के पीछे हमें दो type के functions देखने मिलते हैं, right? एक तो होता है manifest जिसके हमें real outcomes देखने मिलते हैं और कुछ hidden outcomes भी होते हैं, right? So कहीं ना कहीं जो ये hidden outcomes होते हैं वो planned नहीं होते हैं by society, वो naturally occur हो जाते हैं because of the behavior caused, okay? So Merton ने manifest और latent functions के बारे में ये एक differentiation हमें बताया था, okay? I hope this is clear. See, if I give you the example of college education or the institution of education, okay? Manifest function, education का manifest function क्या होगा कि कहीं ना कहीं ये जो college education है लोगों को education और knowledge provide कर रही है, degree provide कर रही है, okay? This is the direct outcome. Latent function क्या होगा? Hidden होगा. Students कहीं ना कहीं friendship form कर रहे हैं. They are also making networks. They are forming friendships. Somewhere there is also delayed entry into job market, right? So all of this, so meeting future marriage partners, maybe because of your college you also find out your partner. All of this is hidden outcomes, something which is not directly impacting you, but spontaneously you're getting these things, right? So these hidden outcomes are not the part of the formal goal of the institution of education, but they are still important. So this is again a very very important question, students. These examples are formed in such a way that will help you to understand concepts better. Just a minute. Okay, guys. So we move to the next question now. Question number 32. Who coined the term or the concept culture of poverty? Amartya Sen, Oscar Lewis, Gunnar Myrdal, Marriott. Now this is again a very important concept which was given by Oscar Lewis. ये एक एंथ्रोपोलॉजिस्ट हैं ऑस्कर ल्यूइस, जिन्होंने ये कॉन्सेप्ट इंट्रोड्यूस किया था कल्चर ऑफ पॉवर्टी 1960s में, while he was trying to study poor families in Mexico and US. So I will teach you separately about culture of poverty, but I hope you all have got an idea about this right now. Okay. Next, according to Anthony Giddens, safe utility provision and secure banking are examples of what? Theoretical abstractions, conditions of co-presence, abstract systems, reflexive monitoring. Again, a very, very important question on Anthony Giddens and his idea on secure banking. Students, abstract systems is the correct answer. Now, most of the students might question what are these abstract systems और Anthony Giddens इसके बारे में क्या बोल रहे हैं, right? So, Anthony Giddens explain करते हैं कि modern society बहुत ज़्यादा लार्ज इम्पर्सनल एक्सपर्ट डिपेंडेंट सिस्टम्स पे चलता है, एंड हम पूरी तरह से सारे काम पर्सनली नहीं कर सकते. समटाइम्स वी हैव टू हैंड दीज वर्क टू पीपल हु आर अननोन टू अस. सो अगर सिंपल डेफिनेशन में इसे मैं आपको एक्सप्लेन करूं स्टूडेंट्स, एब्स्ट्रैक्ट सिस्टम्स क्या होते हैं? ये कुछ बड़े इम्पर्सनल सिस्टम्स होते हैं जिन पर हमें ट्रस्ट बनाए रखना पड़ता है बिना उन्हें पर्सनली जाने. ठीक है, आप पर्सनली उन्हें नहीं जानते हो. फॉर द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ बैंक, ओके, बैंकिंग सिस्टम जो है, क्या आप सब बैंक में जितने लोग काम करते हैं, राइट फ्रॉम द हेड ऑफ द बैंक टू द क्लर्क, डू यू नो एवरीवन? नॉट रियली. सो आप उन लोगों को नहीं जानते हो कि कौन सिस्टम चला रहा है, फिर भी आप कहीं ना कहीं उस पर डिपेंड कर रहे हो फॉर योर फॉर योर पर्पसेस. यही तो मॉडर्निटी का बेस है, वेर यू आर ट्राइंग टू trust the bigger systems. Okay, so the core idea to this is that society face to face relationships से shift हो रही है to abstract systems. So this system is based on trust. It is based on the things need to get done quickly. For example, you do not know who is the who is working for your Google Pay, but you're still using Google Pay. You're trusting in modernity. So these systems create trust in modernity even if there is an absence to face interactions. Okay, so what are the types of abstract systems? Number one is symbolic tokens. What are these symbolic tokens students? ऐसे mediums जो exchange के लिए यूज किए जाते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, स्टैंडर्डाइज्ड होते हैं, वी यूज इट फॉर एक्सचेंज, यूनिवर्सल भी होते हैं. टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ मनी. ओके, money is universal in nature, they are standardized in nature. Take the example of UPI, GPay, digital payments, currency. All of this is something where we are trying to exchange money. Okay, नाउ आप नोट का वैल्यू कहीं ना कहीं सबके लिए सेम है ना, 5 रुपया मेरे लिए भी 5 रुपया है, इट इज फॉर यू ऑल्सो इट इज द सेम. नंबर टू इज एक्सपर्ट सिस्टम्स. What are these expert systems? This is run by experts who know the knowledge and we can trust them also. Take the example of banking systems, hospitals, aviation. ठीक है, क्या आप सब जो प्लेन उड़ा रहे हैं, क्या आप सबको पर्सनली आपके रिश्तेदार हैं वो आप जानते हो उन्हें? नो, but you're still trusting on them because they have that knowledge and expertise. Okay, so these are the expert systems in modern systems. Okay, so आप डॉक्टर या पायलट को पर्सनली नहीं जानते हो, but somewhere still you trust them and you move forward with your activities. So I've given you here examples of online money transfer, UPI payment. Okay, you trust the bank servers, RBI regulation, digital encryption, software systems. Even though you have never seen the server, you have never met the technical team, personal control नहीं है आपके पास. So this is what exactly Anthony Giddens is trying to say, that even if you do not know the people, still transaction is taking place smoothly and you're trying to focus, right? So ये एक example था. Next, who has said that some of the most powerful American business enterprises were in fact habitual criminals? R.K. Merton, Sutherland, John Mack, Kimball Young. Now you might get confused here between R.K. Merton and Sutherland, but please let me tell you, this particular statement is given by none other than Edwin Sutherland students, who talks about white collar crime theory as well. So ये जो statement है, some of the most powerful American business enterprises were in fact habitual criminals, ये एक important statement है जो कि इन्होंने दिया है. Question number 35. Which of the following is not a key theme in Michel Foucault's writing? the hyper reality of media imagery, the significance of expert discourses, society's use of surveillance and discipline, the archaeology of scientific knowledge. इनमें से मिशेल फूको की राइटिंग में कौन सा एक ऐसा स्टेटमेंट या कॉन्सेप्ट है जो कि नहीं दिया गया? इट्स नॉट अ की थीम. क्विकली आंसर दिस क्वेश्चन. Yes, students, this the correct answer here is option number A, the hyper reality of media imagery. Please understand, this is not given by Michel Foucault. This was associated with Jean Baudrillard. Okay, so ये बहुत important है, आपको पता होने चाहिए सारे concepts. Question number 36. Which one of the following is not a form of domestic violence? Dowry deaths, sexual abuse, abduction, wife battering. डोमेस्टिक वायलेंस की जब हम बात करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, ऑब्वियसली अबडक्शन जो है will not be here in the form of domestic violence because it is talking about kidnapping. Okay, अपहरण करना. So ये हमारा नहीं होगा इनमें से domestic violence का form. Question number 37. The idea that classes vary according to their possession of cultural capital is associated with which thinker? Max Weber, John Goldthorpe, Karl Marx, Pierre Bourdieu. Students, we all know that when we talk about cultural capital or we talk about types of capital, the correct answer is Pierre Bourdieu. He gives the types of capital. He was very much inspired by Karl Marx. कार्ल मार्क्स ने फोकस किया था सिर्फ और सिर्फ इकोनॉमिक कैपिटल पे, saying that economy is the base, right? He only talks about one type of capital, economic capital. However, Pierre Bourdieu was very much inspired by Karl Marx and he is also known as a structural Marxist. He gives three types of capital: cultural capital, symbolic capital and social capital, right? Question number 38. According to R.K. Merton, which path is followed by drug addicts? Please understand. R.K. Merton ने टाइप्स हमें दिए थे, राइट? तो ड्रग एडिक्ट्स कौन सा पाथ फॉलो करते हैं? रिचुअलिज्म, इनोवेशन, फ्रस्ट्रेशन, रिट्रीटिज्म. Students, the correct answer is retreatism. Please understand, he gives 5 modes of production जिसे हम CIRR भी बुलाते हैं. Yes, modes of adaptation की जब हम बात करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, modes of adaptation में हमारा आता है सबसे पहले conformity, innovation, ritualism, retreatism, rebellion. Okay, conformity में जो cultural goals होते हैं वो accepted होते हैं, positive होते हैं, while on the other hand the means are also positive. That means people follow the society's goals and legitimate rules both. So if I talk about this, take the example of cracking an examination. So a student, in order to crack examination or get a job, will try to work hard for it. So यहाँ पे उनका गोल क्या है कि कहीं ना कहीं उसे जॉब चाहिए. Yes, और उसको पाने के लिए वो मीन्स भी पॉजिटिव यूज कर रहा है. दैट मीन्स somewhere he is focusing more on working hard, studying better to get a job, right? Innovation on the other hand, your goals are positive but means are negative. ठीक है, goals यहाँ पे accepted होते हैं society के, but जो लोग means use करते हैं वो illegitimate या alternative means होते हैं. For example, a person wants to get rich or wealthy, but however वो चोरी चकारी कर रहा है in order to become wealthy. So a thief or scammer wants wealth but achieves it through doing fraud. ठीक है, रिचुअलिज्म में नेगेटिव गोल होता है बट पॉजिटिव तरीके से आप उसे अचीव करने की कोशिश करते हो. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, पीपल गिव अप गोल्स बट कंटिन्यू फॉलोइंग द रूल्स मैकेनिकली. जैसा जैसा जो है वैसा वैसा हम करने को तैयार है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, अ क्लर्क फॉलोज रूल्स स्ट्रिक्टली बट हैज नो एम्बिशन फॉर सक्सेस. ठीक है, वो बिल्कुल भी उसके कोई गोल्स नहीं है, वो बस मैकेनिकली चीजों को फॉलो कर रहा है एज अ रिचुअल. ओके, रिट्रीटिज्म में दोनों ही नेगेटिव होता है, गोल्स भी और मीन्स भी. सो यहाँ पे सोसाइटी से आप विड्रॉ कर रहे हो, आप ना कोई गोल रखते हो ना कोई मीन्स उसे फॉलो करने की कोशिश करते हो. ड्रग एडिक्ट्स यहाँ पे आते हैं स्टूडेंट्स, दे डोंट हैव एनी गोल फॉर देमसेल्फ एंड देयर मीन्स आर आल्सो नॉट राइट. सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर. You all can read this later on for yourself. Question number 39. Which of the following is not associated with Karl Marx? Theories of surplus value, concentration of capital, centralization of capital, finance capital. The correct answer to this is finance capital. He has not talked about this concept of finance capital. However, he does contribute on the concepts of theories of surplus value, capital, centralization or concentration of capital. Question number 40, last question of the day. Which suicide, according to Durkheim, is committed due to normlessness in society? Egoistic, altruistic, anomic, fatalistic. Students, यहाँ पे anomic suicide की बात हो रही है. The key word is normlessness. I hope it's easy for you to see. जब भी society में norms या regulations लो हो जाते हैं या ब्रेकडाउन हो जाता है, तब जाके एनोमिक सुसाइड होता है. ओके, so I hope this class helped you. If you're someone who would like to study with me for unit 1 sociological theory, you can use my code Yashikash. Today is the last day of the offer, and avail and join me. If you want to see all the free classes or want the PDF of this class, register on the website everythingabout.sociology.co.in and get the PDF. Also join me on my Telegram channel and wait for the next session, part 3, which happens very soon. Thank you very much, students. I will see you all in the next session. Bye bye. Take care.